But anyway, let's get into things. It's going to be game number 1 in the winners series here at the World Championship Series, Group D, to find out who moves on to the round of 16 first in this group between Happy and Kane. Spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it is our red Terran. It is Happy. And up to the top right-hand corner, arguably the challenger here in this series, after seeing how Happy was able to play before. Representing my insanity, it is Kane. Having fun.
There's a smile on his face. Didn't show too much confidence on Twitter. He tweeted something like, I'm about to get demolished, but doesn't look too worried, though.
Even dumbing his opponent, Lacera 2.0. So Happy, he likes to play fast from the get-go, and he's well-versed, well-versed. Again, there's very few people in the European scene that have played as many games as he has, because he is an absolute machine. So let's see how Kane's going to fare against him. I think Kane has to bring something special out here against Happy. He saw that first series. Everybody who plays in these groups, you know, they get to sit down and watch the games going on before they're playing. So he knows the kind of power that Happy can bring to the table.
You know, actually, thinking back to Pig against Happy on Vanny, it really looked like Pig was going to be able to shut down the Hellion attack quite easily with the amount of Zerglings that he had, but he never tried to go for like a big surround or something like that. He always came from the front, and every time Happy was able to pull back off Crepe and basically send the Zerglings back, killing a few of them at a time. And from there, he was always ahead. I feel like if you want to completely shut down Happy's harassment and then from there be ahead and, you know, pull further ahead and then win, you can do something like getting a lot of links out. But this, you need to be sneaky about it, you know? You need to go for the full surround, maybe come in from behind. If you get a full surround on his Hellions, I've seen Happy in the past get completely shut down and then early on and then just basically falling apart from there.
Well, there's not much deviation from here from Happy so far, as he sends his first SCV out with Reaper going to be in tow. So maybe we'll see a bunker come down here. We already saw the second Overlord from Kane being left around the natural, so he will be able to spot this in due time as he sees the SCV coming in.
Do you think we're going to see maybe a cheeky bunker? Happy is definitely known, like, and no matter what the matchup too, like he used to do that for the longest time. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Against Protoss as well, but right now it seems like the flavor of the month here for Happy against Zerg is to go for a bunker to support his Reapers.
Yeah, trying to pull the SCV off the bunker and then back onto it so he can get a better position so this drone doesn't harass him too much. So keeping eyes on that. But Kane, I like his reaction a little bit better than how we saw Pigs, especially on this map. He pulled the drone instantly to fend that off.
Yeah. This should finish though, and I guess we're going to have double Queen on the way here. For Kane as well as a few Zerglings. Should be able to start speed pretty quickly in this game. And Happy, he's just going to stop after 2 Reapers, then go into a factory and a reactor.
Good micro there by Happy, though. Not only keeping the SCV alive, but also still dancing around with the Reaper to get himself a Zergling kill or 2. And he actually goes back to the bunker again. But yeah, that Queen spell's doomed. There's not much you can do there.
He almost got the Reaper as well. 5 hit points. If he had gotten that, would have been a great start here for Kane in this game.
Well, as much as he's lost a few Zerglings, I'm already liking his defense a whole lot more than what we saw from Pig. No offense to Pig, of course. I mean, it's difficult going up against Happy, but I've liked the reactions here from Kane so far.
A second refinery here already out of Happy, so most likely going to want to be going for a Banshee, possibly with Cloak. Quite a bit of money, actually. He's going to throw down immediately that third command center even before starting the second orbital.
Whoa, that's a little bit of lost mining time there from Kane. He had to replenish quite a few Zerglings as well because the Reapers got so many kills, so that is lava away from drones. And behind this, of course, it's just going to be the triple command center into this build. He'll stick with this to his grave, it looks like, in this group.
Happy is actually so deadly in this matchup just because his micro is rated very, very high. You know, his splits are insane. Even early on, be it with the Reapers, the Hellions, or the Banshees, he's always going to micro those units to the most. And I mean, he's a Warcraft 3 player after all.
Oh yeah, those guys. I guess you know quite a bit about them, and you rate them very highly as well, right, Todd?
Yes.
Yeah?
And he played Undead too, like, you know, the race with units that die very quickly. And with which you needed a lot of micro, so definitely brought that over to his, I guess, StarCraft skills, the transition.
If I recall correctly, not many people played Undead, right? It was the more...
Not many people played Undead and did well, yes.
Yeah.
They were quite underpowered.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
I was looking at actually at Happy's I guess, career achievements in Warcraft 3 earlier today before the show, and he had a lot of fourth places, a few third places, but never really won anything, I think. And which really, I mean, might also have depended, on the race he played. It definitely didn't help that he played Undead. Not many Undeads. We didn't have many Undead champions, so...
Yeah, it took real metal to be a champion in Warcraft 3, right, Todd?
Yes. As Undeads.
Okay.
But then he came to StarCraft II and picked the best race.
Oh, I see. That's
Come on, we were headed there.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh well, for now we're seeing Kane already get himself into the Spire. He's got that Baneling Nest going down pretty nicely. And notice how he's taken no third just yet. He's not opened up that idea for it to be exploited very easily. So he's sticking around on these 2 base for quite a while longer than we were ever seeing Pig do. And this is a slight change up from that series to this one to leave Kane in a more well-defended situation.
It's actually pretty smart by Kane to do this, I think. Like, knowing that there's going to be a Banshee almost always made here out of Happy, he goes for Mutus. And he basically says, I not only want to shut you down, I want to be able to harass you behind this, to force turrets out of you, delay your third base. I mean, look at the Overlords dropping creep on both of the potential third base here for Happy. As much as he delayed his own third base, he's going to delay Happy's even more.
It's a really cool tactic because he knows he can't have units too far over the other side of the map, right? So how else are you going to be able to delay these bases? Really, really like that there from Kane. But now the third base is on the way, but the creep spread is encroaching towards that pretty fast with the Queen's support. So
Kane needs to be careful, though, with those Queens here. Just 3 Queens could get picked off very quickly from the Reapers, Hellions, and the 1 Banshee here out of Happy.
He's got 30 links, though. That's if he's able to get a good engagement, a good surround on the position on this creep, which is constantly flourishing out here, but then going to get pushed back thanks to the scan.
Happy got a pulled Viking out, and he's going to start looking for... Overlords around the third base. Okay, he finally finds it. Man, he's pretty fast.
These 8 Mutalisks are very, very fast down. So this is gonna hurt quite a bit here, because I mean this force cannot stick around at all. So
goodbye, Banshee.
Yeah, that's really well done.
He's not panicking, by the way. He's not starting any turrets ASAP. He kind of delayed them a little bit. So I guess he has a Thor about to come out. No, okay, no, here we go. He's gonna start quite a few. 3 of them in total at least. Okay, 4 of them even. Oh!
Ooh, ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, well, thankfully for him, well, I thought it was actually just about to pop, so it could get a few of the more Mutalist kills here. Very, very close to dying off that last one, but the thing is that because he actually cancelled Cloak during all of this, because he saw that there wasn't a third base and wasn't too much opportunity to do damage, it actually hurts the composition later on if he continues to mix in Banshees, but he's not being as active about replenishing those numbers going into this mech force, so that's it's an interesting little change here.
And look at his Kane, he's all over the place. He gets a Rotron plus an Infestation Pit. I guess he wants to go into Swarmos, but have the possibility of going for Roaches. He's going to start 1-1 as well. At about the same time, Happy's 1-1 is going to finish, I guess, like momentarily now. So very interesting game here already, especially, I mean, out of Kane. We already knew what to expect out of Happy, but Kane is really the one trying to play the mind games on Happy's level here and throwing him off his game. So far, Happy has done a good job of not falling apart, but it's 67 drones to 54 SCVs and a much earlier third year for Kane.
Yeah, this could definitely turn out to be a long series because Happy is more than content to just sit back and turtle on a mech composition, and it seems like Kane's very also content to just sit around with some good creep spread and some swarm hosts. So
Happy is always content to sit back, man. I remember this one game against him at DreamHack. I don't know if you saw that one. It was on Tal'Darim. He made a bunch of Ghost Academies and he nuked me 50 times over. And I had to sit.
That game.
Yes, I had to sit at home and I couldn't move out because otherwise I would walk into a nuke because he was consistently nuking. So I had to wait, weather the storm, and then finally move out and win.
Oh, good job there, Todd. Well done. Well done.
It wasn't a brag. It's just I'm trying to emphasize how patient this guy can be.
Just slipping that in there.
It's not every Terran that go for 50 nukes in a row.
No, I know.
And just sit there and keep on doing it endlessly.
Look at that. He's going back into Cloak, interestingly enough. So I guess, cancelling it earlier on just allows him to speed up the production there to begin with. And now that his economy is nice and strong, he can mix it back in and still have those Banshees available to him because they are very, very strong in this mech composition.
Yes. I mean, let's be honest, Cloak is practically free. It's very cheap.
Yeah, it's
Might as well get it if you're going to make Banshees.
Yeah, Cloak Banshees can be a real irritation to the Zerg. Because right now there's not really that much anti-air. Of course, yes, there's Mutalisks, but those Thors, the Javelin missiles have got a very long range when it comes to prioritizing those air targets, so the Mutalisks have to be careful when engaging anything on that composition.
The creep spread is quite decent here, by the way, out of Kane, and that's definitely going to help in a split map situation with Swarm Host to keep up with it. 2 starports being added on already. Kailaris, is this the quick Cruiser transition? Are we going to see Ravens?
It could even be to Ravens with how fast he's actually going there. He may just want it for Vikings initially because they do actually help the mech composition out a lot against the idea of a Swarm Host Mutalisk style, which could easily come out here because all the components are there right now to help that out.
So I guess we got our answer here. Essentially, Kane is going to go about playing this game the sulky way and try and be very patient, at least for now. If he somehow at some point loses patience, moves out and doesn't do enough damage or even gets caught out of position for just 1 second, he will get punished for it. I feel like Kane has way too many roaches, by the way. Like, you don't want to have this in a maxed out versus maxed out situation, so you should find a way to kind of sack him at some point. Maybe trade them for something, maybe go for drop. Could be nice.
Go to the right-hand side, try and run them into the third base, maybe to find some damage there, but he'll initially have to hold on against this small push that is clearing up some creep, making these Locusts a little less useful as all this gets cleared up, but that initial wave did get some nice damage off at least.
Yeah, Kane is afraid of losing a lot to this attack, so he's morphing in a bunch of Banelings, just in case Happy kind of tilts, you know, and maybe attacks into the Swarm Host and the Locust, in which case he could send this and clean up very easily. The 5 Muta squad. Save it! No! What are you doing?
Well, they could have, but they decided not to. The 4th base is going to go down up to the left-hand side. There's a lot of Spore Crawlers being added on as well in preparation to defend that location that he's sieging up from when it comes to the Swarm Hosts. And
interesting that Happy wants to take this 4th base, by the way.
Down the left-hand side?
Yeah, rather than the gold or the one on the other side.
I think the ones on the right can be prone to those small counterattacks. You know, I was mentioning with the roaches going down that way. Every Zerg's nightmare, hotkeying Swarm Hosts into rallying Swarm Hosts and then them just running to their deaths.
There is some Widow Mines, a PF and 2 tanks here on the right-hand side. So he's those detonations. Oh my god. Wow, doesn't get that much. 4 kills on that second Widow Mine detonation.
But it wasn't even that much of an investment for that defense, and look how much he was able to push away. So that was nicely done there by Happy, even just to greet that and anticipate it. He dropped the scan and saw the hive, actually.
Yeah, and he saw the Viper most of all, so he knows that Vipers could be attacking him soon. There should be time. If Kane wanted to go for an attack with Locust plus his units and try and drop some Blinding Clouds on top of these tanks, he might be able to trade, but would he trade good enough for it to be worth it? I'm not sure. 10 more Spores here on the way for Kane, who really doesn't want those Banshees to get on top of his Swarm Host or even the potential Ravens that we could see later on. I mean, by now, he should be somewhat aware that there is more than one starport. And Happy, 2 more command centers, Kailaris. This is going to be a long game.
Yeah, and Kane's anticipating the transition from this ground-based style from Happy. So he's adding on a second Spire. He's going to probably go into the double upgrades from that point on, so that
the Vipers,
when he needs the Corruptors, he should be completely fine, and they will have ample upgrades to rival any kind of air transition that does appear.
Kane's moving out with the Banelings and Roaches that he has. Is he going to attack from behind, or is he going to counter-attack that base? Looks like he wants to counter-attack the base. Means he would lose a lot of those units.
Those Locusts are actually getting on top of a few of those tanks, and even just 1 kill is nice.
He's going to get into the natural. He could actually completely wreck Happy's economy. Happy has really not so much back at home. He has 1 single siege tank in the main.
Yeah, and the Roaches open up things nicely. The Banelings, all they have to do is separate themselves off. Even if they go into the natural, that would be all right for them to start doing some work.
Oh, God, that tank.
He really wants to get... I'm not sure these Banelings did exactly what they could have.
Yeah, he should have detonated a few into the natural middle line for sure. Now in the main, they're not going to do too much. The Roach is going to be sacrificed, which it was the plan. They were never there to last, but they could have killed a lot more here. Which I guess doesn't always necessarily help the Zerg. I mean, if you bring a Terran down to, say, like 30 SCVs and he's on like, what, 5 orbitals, he really doesn't mind. He maxes out and then he has way more army than you, and you're in trouble, but Kane right now, he's very worried about the mech army of his opponent, so he gets 12 more swarm hosts.
Yeah, that's what I was about to point out. He's going up to around 32 swarm hosts.
Oh, God.
And that is more swarm hosts than we've seen for quite a while in a game like this.
The last time I was in one of Firecake's game.
Yeah. So the air transition, I mean, if he doesn't kill off a load of the swarm hosts, what does he really do against the air? Because that's a lot of supply invested into 32 swarm hosts.
Yeah, but he's making a ton of spores. That's how he's going to deal with air, I guess, just with the abducts. And most likely, like usually when you go for this many swarm hosts, you just take bases, you make sure you don't lose, I guess, any units or any of your economy with all the static defense that you have everywhere. And then you add a bunch of infestors. Ideally, you know, I guess a dozen, 8 to 10 or 12. And then from there, you have so much fungal capability. Look at this. He starts 2 infestors. Kane knows exactly what he needs to add here to his composition. He starts pathogen glands after, though. So that means they will come out with about 50 energy.
Well, here come the Ravens. And starting the production now here on those. Still has a few more air units coming out, be it the Vikings, be it the Banshees. They will work in tandem with one another to actually help out in these locations. But the thing is that I feel if this game continues how it is, with that many swarm hosts, that many spore crawlers, Happy's just going to try and fly around everywhere on the map, eliminate all the buildings elsewhere, and then Kane is going to be sat in the middle of the map for ages with swarm hosts and spore crawlers, and this could go on for quite a long time.
Yeah. But the thing is, in a split map situation, I've mentioned this many times, you know, the units lost, the resources lost are very, very important. But in this game, I feel like that number is not big enough just yet to be relevant. It's really going to be about the trades that they can start doing from now. But I quite like Kane's position with all the static defense that he has made and the amount of swarm hosts to infestors to vipers that he has. He's going to have so much capability to keep on trading very cost effectively against a Happy who actually made so many Vikings. But as long as you're careful here as Kane and you don't fly your Vipers into those, you're going to be okay, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. He will eventually have to sacrifice the majority of his ground units himself here. This is why these Widow Mines are just running to their deaths. They were defending over on that right-hand side. They did okay against those Roaches and Banelings, and now they are useless.
Happy has way too many walkers, by the way. Even if this wasn't a swarm host and split map situation, 77 walkers is way too much. He needs to start suiciding some of those, especially when he has as many mills as he does have right now, which is, he has, I think, 7 orbitals, which is ridiculous. He could literally go down to 20 SCVs and be absolutely fine with the mining.
Definitely. Yeah, just go for the gas, man. We pointed that out in the previous series that Happy was in. But now here comes the fusion core. Here comes Ravens as well.
Durable materials is being researched, Skylaris.
It's not often you see durable materials, but here we go.
Can you do the fusion core dance?
I can, but I'm not a good dancer. It's not exactly a difficult dance, I must admit. But I'm not willing to make a fool of myself.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair play.
Killing some of these tanks here. Very late PDDs here used out of Happy. Needs to be careful. Both players just basically completing every single upgrade in the book right now.
And the fusion core is done.
Look at that list, that long list of upgrades.
That's a lot
Plus
of
1
upgrades.
melee only.
Oh. Well, there'll be plus 2 melee soon.
Yes.
That's going to be on the way. But here comes the Behemoth reactor. Not often I get to say that. And
Behemoth reactor.
Whatever.
That's a great name.
It is. It's a pretty cool name.
Happy is scanning all over the place, by the way. He's trying to see exactly what's up with, I guess, the units and positioning that Kane has. And Kane, oh my god, he's getting so much static defense.
Well, again,
43 spore, 44,
Yeah.
and that number keeps rising.
and this is what we kind of anticipated before. Just send your Banshees everywhere, kill all the buildings, and then it's going to be Kane sat in the middle of the map for a while. As he's going to get the hype. There's not really a whole lot that can deny that. A few transfuses, but even that Queen gets picked off before that.
Kailaris, this is a 27 minutes game so far, and Kane has 49 spore crawlers and 12 spine crawlers.
All right.
Is he playing tower defense right now?
I mean, you could do that if you want. there's a few tower defense games to practice.
Happy. I'll start losing some of those Banshees here.
Look at his bank, though.
Oh, he did get the hive plus the spawning pool, which is nice, but I mean, it's mostly, I guess, mineral heavy buildings. didn't cost too much gas to get the lair, then the hive. So not sure that was worth it really. And one of the things that's very important in a split map situation like this against Swarmos is that you start far away apart, basically cross map. But as you take more and more bases, the Swarmos, they are basically standing right between the Zerg's base and the Terran's base. So they're consistently sieging like you're seeing now, which is not a good trade for the Terran because he has to use PDDs all the time. He has to defend. Somehow at the same time, Happy finds a way to inflict some damage onto Kane with those Banshees, but I mean, surely they're gonna die now.
Yeah, eventually. The Fungals as well as a few infested
Ooh,
Terrans will
nice
be able to
target.
sort that out. He got
Really
a few
nice.
infestors there. That was alright.
I don't know why he's not using some infested Terran. Here we go, but I mean, already lost a few of those.
There's a few down. But at least he gets himself a couple of Banshees. They're going to be replenished by some battle cruisers on the other side, though.
Yeah.
But the creep spread is actually getting to that point where it's quite fearful for a Terran. So the Locusts
Yes.
are actually doing damage each time they get in there with a wave because they are so mobile.
Happy has way too much money. He needs to start sacrificing some of those SCVs. Like 76 is ridiculous in a split map situation. That's way too much.
You want to get a really sick army count at this point as him.
Which is working towards slowly. I mean, he's traded those Banshees for some buildings there and there. He's replacing them with battle cruisers. And Kane is looking for some abducts here. He's
may
gonna
find
get them
some.
though. Or maybe even one Blinding Cloud will go a long way to help against these tanks here.
Well, the Hive is going back in, as we also have the Spire come in as well. A few abducts, but onto Vikings that don't really have too much of a threat to them. It's just going to be the Infestors that try and pose a threat with some fungal growths, but didn't get anything there.
It's funny, actually, Kane, he has like 2 Swarmos on the left-hand side, and he keeps on sending Locust to the left-hand side base of Happy. He's actually going to make a whole bunch of new spores. Like, these are not spores that he's walking over. He's actually making more and more spores.
Wow.
He feels like he doesn't have enough with 49.
Everything must be defended. I
The
think
Great Wall of Canada, Kylars.
I think he's defending each flank just in case Banshees were to come along again. So he's almost creating a wall so that the Banshees can't even go for any harass, but I suppose there is that top right-hand corner and then the move around to try and get there.
Oh, he's starting to send, a lot of Locusts on the left-hand side. And is he going to get that PF?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's going really low.
Yeah,
he gets it.
Yamato gun. And yeah, getting the PF here is a big deal. That means he's going to get all the turrets.
Ooh, battle cruisers, you've gone pretty far there, my friends. He dragged his own queen.
Those queens.
He dragged his own queen. I saw it with my own eyes, Todd. I saw it, I did. Well, he got some few Swarmos with that.
21 Corruptors are starting here for Kane, who I guess is finally starting to think about how to counter these battle cruisers better. The thing is, these Thors, they're really going to help in countering air units. Oh, some Fungals here maybe? More and more abducts.
Those poor battle cruisers, they're not getting out of there.
I really think that Kane could use more and more infested Terran to deal with this. Because right now, the army of Happy is kind of on top of Kane's.
Yeah, he really wants to get to those swarm hosts. Look at the banks. Again, if he could actually eliminate a good chunk of these units, there's not that much money for Kane to really replenish because of all the corruptors that have come in, but that is a fearsome force in
Kane's
those
income
corruptors.
is actually below 1,000. He's losing more and more. I guess he must have made more static defense, because right now he's down to 35 drones. And he has a pretty awful bank, which means he should have way more army supply with 162 against 119.
I'm not sure how he's going to compete against the Bank of Happy here. Of course, Swarm Hosts are just going to have to lay siege to these locations for a long time. But
I think he's just planning on mining his entire side of the map, and he's fine with it. And keep on sieging, keep on holding on. He's going to move the spores next to his Swarmos to cover them now. It's funny, Happy keeps on scanning the bases across the map. That's not really helping you, my friend. Like, he just scanned the top left-hand side base. What info is there to take? You know, there is spines and spores there.
Happy's going to mine out his side of the map pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing. As long as you don't die here as a Zerg, you can lose as many units as you want. As long as it's not more than your opponents, you're going to mine out your side of the map, and you're going to have killed more units than you lost. The resources lost. Happy has lost 3,000 more than Kane already. So things are really going Kane's way right now. Unless Happy somehow can assemble the perfect army, move out and do damage. And he's going to rely mostly on basically building a massive air army right now. I think Happy is going to look towards basically losing his entire ground army, going into full battle cruisers with some Vikings and Ravens. and basically try to say, you went for too many swarm hosts, 26 in total. They take up a lot of your supply. I'm gonna crush you with only air. The thing is, having as many spores as Kane has, surely he should be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I think so. He still has 55 workers here, does Happy, which I guess, once he's mined out, he can just sacrifice them all. It doesn't really matter anyway. So he will get up to his... he could even, once everything's mined out, he could even just go up to 200 army supply, actually, because he's not really going to take anything from the other side. There's nothing else for them to do. And
at this point... Oh my god, those are gonna die not doing anything. At this point it's starting to become a lot about energy here. If you can trade energy on those units against costly units, it's gonna be very, very important. But so far, Happy, he hasn't been able to trade cost effectively at all. It keeps on increasing the lead, by the way, of Kane here.
Yeah, he does. I would like more Ravens. I would like more Ravens in this composition, because Hunter Seeker missiles, or Hunter Seekers even. Oh, he's actually adding on 5, so he is going into that production. The utility of Hunter Seeker and PDD against the composition that we're seeing from Kane is so powerful.
Yes.
So powerful.
You know what's funny? Kane could actually take the bottom left-hand side base, at which there's still a few minerals and gases.
Yeah, he could. And he would be wise to, considering the bank that we're seeing from Happy. And also, all of Happy's attention is focused on this right-hand side, and he hasn't really gone over to the left-hand side for a long time, ever since that base fell. So there's not really too much opportunity for Happy to even go over there, because there's actually just creep covering a whole lot of that area.
Man, Funkas observing. The witness of esports, he was titled by Day9, and I feel like we haven't missed a thing.
We just find
this game.
It's nice to have Funka back. It's nice to not have me observing, that's for sure.
Some abducts here maybe. Into the spores. He's going to need more than that. Oh, big Yamato into the Viper here.
Yeah, able to grab one. One of the battle cruisers will end up falling, but there's still plenty more battle cruisers where that came from on this other side. A few Seeker missiles onto these Corruptors, but I think they got out of range just before they were able to smash into them.
Kane is still trading better, but Happy has such a massive bank. Oh my god. He almost did Happy mine out his entire side of the map. Yeah, pretty much.
Look at Kane's face, man. He's so intense at this point. He really is trying his best to keep himself in this game, but he loses that base up to the top right. Can't be too happy with that.
Oh my god, Kane looks like he's sweating so much. He's actually in pain or something.
Oh man, look at him. But that's where you got to be. You got to be intense in these situations when someone like Happy is barreling down on your locations with so many battle cruisers. The Yamato cannon's pretty effective there, getting a few of these units.
So far, he's listened to Soulcase's advice. He's been very patient. He never moved out of position. He's been trading cost effectively. Even though Happy's last attack was a success, I would say he's still not trading that cost effectively. And as long as Kane stays alive, mines out his side of the map, he should be okay. It's really about that army that Happy's building with a lot of air that should start worrying Kane here. And I would say he should definitely start removing some of his swarmos, because right now, they're not really achieving anything. There is no ground he needs to be worried about. It's all air for Happy. Kane definitely needs... I would say, like, if he got added a lot of corruptors and more infestors, that's what he needs to do with this army. He has way too many swarmos. He has 24 swarmos. What is 24 swarmos doing against this air army? Nothing.
Not much, no. Well, at least it's pressuring the idea of the ground, and if he ends up going to an expansion, he's actually
used on his own.
Interesting. So if they'd have stuck around, they would have taken damage, but he just sacrificed quite a bit of health on that battle cruiser to eventually die.
This Yamato. The thing is,
ooh, that was a good one.
Upgraded units against static defense. When you have 3-3, you don't really feel the hit from the static defense anymore. As many spores as it is, they are very spread out too. So only a few of them are shooting at a time, but Kane's doing a very good job of abusing, the position here, getting some abducts here and there. He's forcing a lot of Hunter-Seeker missile, by the way, and then going away. That means that most of these Ravens, they're running very low on energy, to be honest.
But he's getting a lot of the spores that, with the aid of PDDs, that eventually are going to become quite valuable, because he technically, in normal situations, loses all of his buildings, and then it's the spore crawlers that it's up to them to keep themselves alive.
He killed a lot of spores, Skylaris, but there's still 55 on the map, so...
Okay, so he didn't kill enough spores just yet. Well, continues to abduct, gets a Viking hero there, and the Vikings will continue to pressure those Corruptors just a little bit, zoning them out for a second. A Fungal's try and land on this army. Not a bad Fungal there, actually, but anytime those investors walk forwards now, they will get Yamato'd, so... It's hard to continue chaining that.
Happy has very few minerals left to mine. It still has a pretty big bank. Resources lost. 31,000 for Happy, 23,000, 24,000 now for Kane. But I mean, it's really this air army he needs to worry about. And he's really not sacrificing any Swarmos here. Kind of maybe misreading the situation a little bit.
Another battle cruiser gonna fall. There's some Hunter Seekers, but they don't.
As okay as he's doing right now, Kane, with his abducts and corruptors, he needs to think about the end game here. And the end game is gonna have to be killing this entire air army here out of Happy, which he will do a lot better with more infestors and more corruptors, I think. Then again, I'm not Zerg.
I think battle cruisers for Yamato Cannon are one of the great tools to try and deal with this. I mean, of course, you need a rounded air army in general, but at least a Yamato's going to do big damage guaranteed to corruptors, as opposed to Hunter Seekers that, yes, they zone out, but they never really get the destinations that they want.
And also with the bank that Kane has, he could do a very good mix of corruptors to infestors and then go for the engagements on top of this massive army of Happy. Just spread out his corruptors very well, use a lot of infested turn, and then fungal the entire army and mostly the Ravens. And if he takes them down, as soon as he's taken down the Ravens here, I mean, if you look at Happy's gas economy, it kind of feels like a Protoss who's been making Archons and very expensive air units right now and hasn't been spending his minerals. Like, it's all about the gas, and Happy's gonna run out of it at some point.
Yeah, he is. And then what do you do with all these minerals? Not enough, not much at all.
Marines.
Make some Marines that die to the Locust instantly. Yeah, it's...
He will actually have 0-0 Marines.
He
without combat shield or steam pack.
Oh, we finally found the disadvantage of going mech into air. Well, yeah, that's probably not really going to help out too much. His first-person view of Kane now, as he's trying to rally back against this. He did lose his hatchery just up there, so he really wants to force this army out of that area so that he can get back into those gas geysers.
Looking for the abducts. Even bringing the infestors here, finally. He had been using mostly just the corruptors plus the Vipers earlier. You can see he doesn't even know where to send all those drones right now, so...
Oh no.
He's going to use his money for the spores.
The spores! He actually moved his swarm host pretty aggressively there. But the creep has actually been cleared up quite nicely there.
I think Kane might start realizing that he needs to maybe sacrifice his swarm host, but he might be afraid of a transition on the ground. The thing is, we see everything else. We are observers here in the game, so we see that Happy's economy is kind of wrecked in terms of gas. But Kane doesn't know that. Kane has no idea where is that in terms of gas. If he knew how gas-starved Happy is, I think he'd definitely sacrifice at least most of his swarmos, replace that with better anti-air, and yeah, just be in a great position to finally deal with this air army, secure himself the last 2 bases on this map, and then we'll just win from there.
I think there's another aspect to that as well, is that I think he has a good inkling of how much gas is in that army, and it's very expensive and he can't really lose it too much.
Look at these two swarmos, actually, that one at the watchtower as well.
What is going on? A swarm host was holding a watchtower.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Go. Aww.
He's not using it. The chase is real. Run! Imagine you see this army behind you.
Flee, flee, flee for your lives. Well,
Happy is actually completely out of minerals and gas on most of his bases.
I love the power-up of Yamato Cannon. It's great. It's brilliant. Oh, some auto-turret harass to kill off these pointless drones.
It will be a very sad way to lose here for Kane if he was to just keep his swarmos alive the entire game and not realize that he needs to basically get rid of them because they're not doing anything for him anymore.
Yeah, very little. I suppose...
Happy's doing a good job, by the way, of saving his minerals and gas now and waiting until he sees what would be best to add. Because say, for example, if right now Kane was to suicide all of his swarmos, going for a ground army here for Happy would be great. He will add Thors to his composition, and that would be very nice for him. This might also be why Kane is not sacrificing his swarmos just yet. But I definitely think that getting rid of at least, 10 of them, that's so much supply freed.
I mean, what does Happy do here with his composition? Is he just waiting for a mistake from Kane to actually land some good Hunter Seekers on Corruptors?
It's a game of patience. It's exactly what Solky said to Kane he should do against Mech. He needs to be patient. The moment you move out and you attack, the moment you get overeager, even if you're ahead, you can throw away the games. If you engage into this army of Happy, you're basically saying, I'm going to let you Hunter Seeker missile my army and I hope for the best. And believe me, usually that does not go well.
A few auto turrets are going to harass again. Fungal actually landed on 2 of those Ravens, so picking up any Raven here is a nice takeaway from the gas hit that he actually has. A few abducts do hit, and those battle cruisers will fall pretty quick thanks to the fact that there are a lot of Corruptors there, but a lot of Yamato cannons focused down on them.
Oh my god, this army is actually so cost effective here for Happy.
He actually took out quite a few Corruptors then with those Yamato cannons. I think he was at 34 or something like that, and it's now down to 26.
Yes, he's killing, and you know what? The energy keeps on recharging as well.
Yeah.
So every time he can do that, he's going to be cost effective. And I mean, Kane has to get in there too. He can't let the Terran just chip at him endlessly and then pull back every time, because the energy is going to keep on going up on Happy's army. It's not just a very strong fighting army here for Happy, it's also an energy-based one with which he's just going to keep on trading energy for units. And essentially, like, the bank of Kane has disappeared now.
I think he wouldn't even be, well, I was about to say it wouldn't be too bad to drop your mules and try and repair some of this up, but that actually costs a bit of gas as well, so you've got to really balance the idea of that. It can be difficult to do something like that against this army.
I wonder if maybe he could mix in some Hydralisks, but I guess, I don't know. He does have +3 missile attacks and Carapace, but...
it's tough. I think they disintegrate.
Against Hunter Seeker missile too, like... The problem of Kane is that he can't take a fight head-on. It's kind of the same deal as playing against a Protoss Mass Air. If you go for the fight, then you have to accept that you're going to get hit by Storm. And now, it's not even just Hunter Seeker missile he has to worry about. It's also PDD. There is so many PDD available here for Happy. And those Corruptors, I mean, they're going to struggle really doing anything against these battle cruisers sometime before they're going to die first.
And this is kind of the angle I was expecting Happy to take almost 20 minutes ago, which is just swinging around to the right-hand side where the Spore Crawlers weren't, to get back in here and start working on these buildings, start bringing some of that tech down. I mean, it's not a massive deal against what we're seeing, because Kane has the composition that he wants right now, but if he could get... It's 42 Corruptors. There's so much power behind that. If anything gets abducted, it just falls instantly. But
the mix of Happy is pretty good too. 19 battle cruisers, 11 Vikings, and 18 Ravens. I think at this point, like, when they reach a point when there is no minerals left on the map, they can just sacrifice all of their walkers and basically do a maxed out pure army.
The best bit is that I think it might even be worth here for Happy to actually just take those gas geysers on this base right here and just long distance mine them with a few SCVs. Just get as much gas as possible, because they're still pretty healthy, and I don't think we're going to see Kane being able to claim those anytime soon because of the position that Kane, Happy has established himself here.
Yeah. Basically, Kane just waits for the Swarmost and the Locust to get in there, tank the damage from the battle cruisers, goes in and keep on abducting, but I'm really not sure if 19 Swarmost, I guess he did go a little bit down with the count, but I feel like it's not enough. 19 Swarmost takes quite a bit of supply. I feel like he could be doing the same thing with a few less ones. Thing is, though, he can just retake that one base and start mining from here, but now Kane is really, really broke. He's down to a little bit less than 700 minerals. His long distance mining from the gold is actually a really sad sight.
Yeah. If you look at how the banks have worked out, Happy still having like 1,000 gas, but Kane only at 1,400 and not really mining at all. Happy's actually traded pretty cost effectively considering his position in this game. I'm quite impressed with his use of Yamato and always being patient enough to say, well, if you come anywhere near me, I'm just going to Yamato you. And I will replenish that energy.
Happy seems to have so much experience with this kind of style here.
I mean, what do you... It's 20 battle cruisers. Of course, 41 Corruptors is a lot and powerful, especially coupled with the idea of Fungal Ghost landing on a lot of that. But if he stands and fights, he's going to get Hunter Seekered, and then you have to run away, and then you're taking free damage all the way whilst running away. So it's such a hard position.
Happy also, like, if we could take a look at his vision when he goes forward like this, he does a lot of scan around his army, never to get caught, really. Like, he drops down turrets, he makes sure that there is never really some kind of infestor going in there to land a big fungal, which actually, at a few occasions, could have happened. It really feels like Kane might not be experienced enough with this style to really keep up with Happy, who, by the look of things, is gonna take out a very important Spire and Lair here.
Yeah, the Spire is quite important. If you look at how many minerals he has just in general, replenishing any tech right now...
He's scanning all around.
Yeah, it's extremely hazardous. It's extremely hazardous because it just takes away from what he can actually do. And he's even actually supply blocked. Even making an Overlord right now is hazardous because he has so few minerals.
How many workers for Kane? Down to 18, 15 for Happy, who's mining on basically on the last base that's mining right now on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that base needs to stay up for Kane on the right-hand side. He actually needs minerals now. He is pretty starved out. So
I can't believe Kane didn't push that with like 2 Swarmos on the bottom left-hand side. I guess he didn't see it because he didn't have vision.
no, he hasn't seen it for a while. He didn't have the creep down there. That got cleaned up. And now this army of Happies is just Yamatoing everything, being very, very slow, very patient, and
he's even down to just 2 Vipers. He was up to 5, which is definitely like the perfect number in this situation, but being down to 2, if those get sniped,
yeah,
kind of feels like it's just over.
I don't think he even has a hive, right, to replenish any Vipers. So
Happy, slowly but surely, he's climbed back in the resources loss. They're actually at the exact same number right now, except that he has a better army.
it's the answer, Yamato, man. Yamato all day long. And well, yeah, hatchery, you're not going to stay alive for too long when you're going to be hit by about 10 Yamato cannons.
I'm glad this Yamato unlocked your laugh number 19.
Okay, yeah, that's on the Kailara soundboard somewhere. I'm pretty sure about it. But it's funny, those drones were like, do we build a hatchery again? Because if we do, we're at 85 minerals.
Yeah.
Long distance mining from that location to the gold or whatever it is, the few patches that remain there.
These poor drones. Happy is actually completely out of gas here almost. He's mining from a very last one at his gold base.
And you know the funny thing is that this is Kane's best effort at drawing the game out long, holding on with a composition that is thought nigh on unstoppable for a lot of people, and Happy has an answer.
If Kane loses this, he's all in the next game.
Yes,
he's definitely not going to a macro game.
Exactly. How do you deal with this? Because the composition that we saw from Kane is never really going to be too aggressive, so Happy would generally always get to this situation, and he's playing it well.
The army supply, 182 for Happy, 171 for Kane here. It's 21 battlecruisers, 11 Vikings, 17 Ravens against 41 Corruptors, 13 Infestors, 2 Vipers, and 19 Swarmos. Do you think... I don't think getting a bunch of Queens will help here, surely. If you had money. Surely, I feel like right now the best thing that you could do as a Zerg is try and add as many Infestors as you can. But for Kane, that means, restarting a lair, mining a little bit here and there, and he's still getting owned by Yamato.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage
Fungal, finally.
The Fungal hit really nicely, but again, whenever he walks forwards with the Infestors, he just keeps... You can't chain Fungal because he's going to Yamato.
And Happy is pretty much already maxed out. All he has to do here is repair. He has the bank to keep on repairing his battlecruisers.
Yeah,
it's going to take some serious money Fungals here for Kane to win this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Corruptors can't really walk forwards again because we've already mentioned it before. The combination of Yamato and Hunter-Seeker means that they'll always take damage when they have to retreat out because you're going to take too much damage if you get Hunter-Seeker. So this zoning game by Happy is very, very strong right now.
He's executed that so well, like always going around the creep, never really stepping on it, never really getting very close to these Corruptors and Infestors, in which case engaging for the Zerg would have been okay with all of the spores that he had there.
Well, for now, Kane is just going to... It's as we said like half an hour ago. He is going to be sat in the middle of this map for a long, long time with just spores, just the Corruptors, just the Swarm hosts. Happy's eventually going to eliminate all the buildings around the outskirts of that, but then breaking the middle could still take potentially another half an hour. How many spores does he have, actually?
I think Happy is just going there because he knows that in this position, he's not going to have to use the energy on these battlecruisers. So he's essentially taking buildings out, taking trash out on the map, basically, with like all of these buildings and letting all of his battlecruisers regenerating to full energy, in which case they're going to have so many Yamato to work with, one each, and then they're going to recharge to get another one later on. He's just trading energy for units. And I mean, if you're Kane here, it's just... How do you deal with this, really? He's down to one uncompleted hatch. I guess he's going to start mining here soon, but I really don't know how he can get back into this. If somehow he starts getting very, very cost-effective, gets a very few money Fungals in there, gets a few Ravens, maybe he can remake some Infestors and then barely take or clinch a win. But I don't think that Happy is going to let that happen.
No, you look at the supplies. I didn't mean that, Todd.
Doing that impression of me?
If I would be going, look at the supply.
Oh my God, you did not.
It's 190 where Happy hasn't really shifted from, and there's been this slow trickle down from Kane for a long, long, long time. So,
Fungal, Yes. Oh no, he got it. Oh,
It's just going to
oh my god. It does quite a bit of damage.
It has done quite a bit of damage, yeah, but he's losing units every single time he goes for one of those. There's an abduct, so maybe he'll get one battlecruiser. Oh, the PDDs!
Down to 9 infestors. Down to 9 infestors here for Kane.
He didn't even get that one battlecruiser. The PDDs just soaked everything up.
All of a sudden, things are looking worse and worse here for Kane, who's on 147 army supply against 172. I'm surprised Happy's not even maxing out here. I guess he's keeping money to maybe repair those units, but he's not doing it just yet. He could literally just fly above there, this position, repair, and then go back in there. Because, I mean, right now, Kane is not even mining. There is no rush for Happy to try and finish this game.
You're entirely right. This is a slow chokehold on Kane here at the moment.
What's this effect with the water?
It's the air that they force down.
Oh, I didn't even see that before.
No?
So realistic.
Oh yeah, so wow, much graphics.
Look at this water. It's going crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like big jet skis all over.
Lovely effects here at the WCS Graphics Championships, as for now Happy really just wants to deny this base over and over and over. He knows that's Kane's lifeblood.
Yeah. We're over an hour into this game, and Kane is gonna have to slowly accept that he's basically lost, I think.
Oh, well, yeah.
Pretty much already did, maybe.
Kane just taking a moment there to correct his earphones.
His infestors for a second were moonwalking towards this battlecruiser, so I got very worried, but Happy is really a master of this style. This was some pretty sick execution, I have to say. One single mistake. One single mistake and he would lose this game, but he never moved out of position. Happy's enjoying himself, man. He lives for this kind of game.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's like playing against me. You've been listening to the same song on repeat for an hour. That's fine. Oh wait, he has no hatcheries left, so he's gonna be revealed. Ooh, but he knows exactly what is facing him, and it's a lot of spore crawlers. He could actually go around slowly, Yamatoing all the spore crawlers to eventually eliminate the majority of everything, apart from the few spore crawlers that lied under the corruptors, which isn't many.
Oh, Happy's finally repairing his army, by the way.
I think he threw down mules on the gold base as well, over on the left, on the Kane's gold.
Oh my god.
He threw down some mules over there, so he's like, I mean, I guess if... Oh, the spines! Didn't notice those guys.
Not welcome here.
Oh, sorry, Funker. You really wanted that mule to have that gold. Oh well. So yeah, this army is pretty strong. Command Center's going to come with the army just for good measure.
Happy is playing it really safe. He's just going to repair everything, maybe get one more battlecruiser, maybe even suicide all of his SCVs. I mean, he could just repair with mules. Worst comes to worst.
Mm-hmm. So Todd, when in a situation like this in TVZ, I know you've been in it many a time. What do you do?
Actually, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. Okay.
If this was Daybreak and I was against a lot of infestors and broodlords like the old times.
Okay, just like the old days.
I already would have left.
You already.
Okay, maybe if I had a mothership, I would try for one last lucky...
You didn't have Tempests back then, I guess.
Yes, we did not.
No.
Sadly for us.
Mothership
at this point, Happy unless he... I even feel like if he A-moved this, he might just win. Like into the spore colors, doesn't even matter.
A-move?
Ah. At this point, yeah, I mean, obviously use his ravens after, but like he's gonna play it safe, just Yamato from afar, some fungals, not gonna help at all.
Yeah, all these trades are just great. Like, the fungals, of course, but PDDs can protect that for infinite amount of time, considering how many ravens he has and the energy available to them. He's not having to even use Hunter-Seeker missiles to zone out, because the threat is enough to keep Kane away.
I really would like to hear the analysis of like a pro, like a top Zerg player, like maybe even Soul King himself, like on this game, like what does he think Kane could have done better? Because
let's just ring him up. And
I don't see too many things.
Yeah,
and here we go.
It's difficult. Everything's fungled, but it's not taking much damage. The PDDs were soaking up a lot there. A few of the Hunter-Seeker missiles actually land on these corruptors. This is Kane's last stand in this game, and it's not going to be enough. The battlecruisers are just shredding everything. The Vikings remain uncontested behind those as well. And that has been a very long drawn-out choke there as Happy's able to take game number 1 in this best-of-3 series. And it's just beginning, Todd. Kane's beside himself.
What song do you think he was listening to? Linkin Park. You know what song I'm thinking about?
I've become so numb, something, or...
I tried so hard.
Oh.
Got so far.
I was thinking...
so many sports, but in the end...
Doesn't even matter, man. I was thinking numb. That would have been good, but... Yeah, yours is also a good suggestion. Well, guys, we are going to a short commercial break, and then when we're back, we're going to have game number 2 of this exciting series between Happy and Kane. All right, welcome back to the World Championship Series as we are in the round of 32 Group D winners match into game number 2 very soon. Currently, Happy leads 1-0 after a long fought. Game number 1, Happy was triumphant. He got to the point where his composition was where he wanted to be. It was perfect for him, and he was victorious. Now here in game number 2, Vani Research Station. How is Kane going to be able to beat Happy, Todd?
A pretty good Swamos map, actually.
No, don't say that. No. Oh, all right. We're getting into game number 2 to find out who is going to move on here in Group D in the winners match. If you lose here, you're not out just yet, but it would be nice to go forwards in first. As we have spawning down to the bottom as our red Terran, it is Happy. And up to the north position, it's our blue Zerg. Representing my insanity, it's Kane.
We know what to expect out of Happy. Pretty much always the same thing. Some expansion into some Hellions, into some mech most of the time. Would be a really good mind game to actually go for bio here, especially if Kane have some kind of all-in plans after the previous game.
But why fix what isn't broken? Aha. Well, come on.
You tell me.
Well...
why not fix what's broken?
What? Well...
Another way to look at it.
I guess so, yeah.
Gaston 12 here for Happy, who's going to be going for... You think he's going to go for his bunker building?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty good on this map. 3 Reapers works out very, very nicely
with the bunker?
Map. Yeah, the bunker can work wonders as well. Whereas our little SCV, though...
You know, Happy, actually, he's one of those Terrans that throws in 2 racks here and there. But I guess he's been doing pretty well without, so it will be a little bit risky to go for one. But Kane took a little bit of a gamble by not scouting for it at all and going for a hatch into a pool. Could have been in trouble if... Do people 2 racks a lot on this map since like you reach the main when you arrive rather than being able to bunker the natural?
Yeah, people have liked a lot of 2 racks on here. It's so hard to end up scouting out the 2 racks. That's just, there's so much room to actually hide it. That's why you see drones going over to... Imagining where Kane has spawned over to the left-hand side and scouting out quite a bit of that to see if it is coming to play. But the SCV's on the way. It's going to be the first Reaper, into the second Reaper, into probably the third Reaper. And let's see if he can get any damage done with this. Kane controlled all right, actually, against the previous Reapers.
Yeah. Ken being aware this could go down. Being pretty careful here. He checked a little bit early here, maybe with his drone, but... I wonder how many drones you need to pull. I would say like maybe at least 2 to 3 if the bunker was to go down, which Happy so far. He's doing the dance. Pretty sure he's going to want to start his command center before. It'd be a huge commitment to go for a bunker before.
Yeah, I think he's paying respect to the idea of how Kane even dealt with it in the previous game and was saying, well, okay, then I know you're going to just pull a drone straight to try and deal with my SCV, so that will cause me some hindrance in getting that strategy to play out.
Oh, third Reaper.
Yeah.
You're out of Happy.
Gonna keep going. If he can force more lings here, that's always nice. And get a few kills there. If a drone or 2 fall, then that's certainly a win there for the Reapers, as they'll couple up later on with the Hellions and try and start pressuring the third base location. But if Kane takes his third base as slow as he did on Overgrowth, then that might not be too much of a factor because it's only that small ramp up to the main.
Happy's game against Pig on this map was very, very impressive, actually. I guess both games were very impressive with the aggression, you know, the constant aggression and the good macro at the same time.
Yeah,
he's actually definitely one of the fastest players in Europe, I would say.
I would say so too. Even at these early stages of the game, he's very, very quick about how he's controlling things.
How can he be so fast with like such a bad keyboard? He's got like a keyboard that's 10 years old.
He's been playing with that for a long time, hasn't he?
What happens if somebody... Well, so I was going to say somebody breaks it. That sounds pretty bad, actually. What happens
not very nice.
If it gets... Okay, if it breaks, what happens if it lands it to QXE?
If someone accidentally spills... Oh, uncharacteristically they're losing a Reaper. But if someone accidentally spills water on it, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because I don't think he can replace it too easily.
It's like they don't even make these keyboards anymore. He's like, but I'll pay $1,000.
I think he'd pay quite a bit for a new one, man. I think he would. Somebody can make a business out of this.
Man, it's time to move on to newer hardware, like...
Well, if you're comfortable and you're a top 8 Premier League player, like he was in Season 3...
Maybe that's what is missing to make a finals or win.
Oh, damn. All right. This theory crafting's gone further than I ever imagined it would.
You know, once upon a time, I bought a wireless keyboard and mouse in Warcraft 3 times.
Oh,
And I thought it was the most baller hardware and set ever.
right.
Then later on I realized that there was a massive delay.
How old
it
were
was
you when
actually
this
whole-
happened?
16.
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
I played once with a wireless keyboard and StarCraft. I couldn't blink my stalkers for anything, and then rage quit and gave up. And actually, that was the time that one of my keyboards got melted for certain reasons, and that's why I had to play with a wireless keyboard. But anyway, Vanilla Creep's going to spread out towards his third base, and even getting a Spore Crawler there to actually transition down to that place eventually.
He did see the cloak starting and the Banshee being made, so I don't think this should trigger a cancellation here out of Happy. I don't think he cares too much about Spores. He can always find a small spot here and there where he can do some damage. The Spores positioning, I would say, is pretty good out of Kane.
Quick 2-base Spire play here.
Very
from
good
Kane.
Overlord placement as well, by the way, out of Kane.
So
He actually has 2 Overlords right outside the base of Happy.
the problem I foresee here with Kane, the way Kane's playing is that he's going to go back into the macro game unless somehow these Mutalisks do massive damage, but there's already going to be Widow Mines covering those weakened areas, or potentially weak areas, once they pop, and then what can the Mutalisks do other than shoo away the harassment at the front, and then Happy's just going to be playing his big old macro game again. So this one could go long as well.
Very good denying of the creep spread here, by the way, by Happy, which surely is going to help a lot because he always keeps up with the aggression here with those Hellions, that one Banshee and the Reapers as well. Oh, as I say that, man, every time we praise him, he's going to keep it alive.
Don't do that, Todd. Don't do that. Well,
Spire's about to finish. So we're going to have, I guess, a remake of the opener, from the first game where Kane rushed for those Mutas to shut down the initial aggression. He's actually moving across the map with Lings right now. The depots are raised.
I love how
up the ramp.
I love how Happy's anticipating this. So he's like, well, you're on 2 bases. What else could you possibly be doing other than Mutalisk? So I'm adding on those turrets nice and early.
If those Hellions actually went into the main, they could have done a bit of damage, but I guess there is Banelings on the way, so it's kind of out of the question. Oh,
tricky.
Kane's going for a bust across the map. He's morphing in Banelings.
Ooh.
This could do quite a bit of damage. There is almost nothing here back at home. I guess there is a single Thor about to come out from that one factory. This could kill a lot of SCVs.
Oh, Banshee return though, as it needed to be repaired. The Banelings are going to bust down the entirety of the wall, but
Oh, he's sending the rest of the Zerglings and Banelings. Might be able to catch some of those Hellions.
he catches a few of them, but they will be able to retreat out. He's only lost 6 workers, 7 workers. That's not too bad a blow. Not too bad.
Happy hasn't rewalled yet. If Zerglings were to make their way across the map, I guess Happy's coming back with the Hellions, and he's gonna lose the Reaper, so the aggression has been completely shut down here for Happy, who doesn't have too many... I was gonna say he doesn't have too many turrets, but I guess actually he has 4 plus 2 Widow Mines, so he's gonna be okay.
This is a crazy little assertion of aggression here, because it's not normal you see this Ling Bane Muta just be this aggressive this early on, but he will be broken. He can't be broken, I don't think, with the Thors being in the position that they are. At least he'll spread creep on that third base.
It's very hard actually right now for Happy to move out and prevent that Overlord from dropping creep, because if he does, his units could get caught and killed.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
know
gonna
what's
do
out
it
there.
anyway. He feels confident that these Thors there will be enough with those Hellbats to fight the army of Kane. And Kane's gonna go for it.
Sending on missile turrets as well. These Banelings might have to do quite a bit. That's a lot of Lings though, actually. And once those Hellbats end up falling, the Lings won't have too much to do. Also, the Thor's going to fall here as well. Very, very close to dying, and there it does fall. But what really does he have to his name? Not that many units at all. These 2 Widow Mines.
Kane needs to pull back.
Oof.
Gonna prevent that third from being taken here once more.
A cool little adaptation here from Kane. Really just saying, okay, I know you're threatening me at the front. That's cool. But if I go back to your base, what do you really have available?
And it's really nice that he didn't neglect his economy in the meantime. He made more drones. He's taking the extractors on his third base. Going to go up to 6 gases very quickly. He's getting 1/1 upgrades for roaches. So going for something like a roach drop on this map, I feel will be very good, especially if it's not spotted. Like say if he hides a bunch of Overlords on the right-hand side of the map, drops them into the natural, and then at the same time attacks the third base. But it's too early to tell if it's his plan or not. He still just started Zergflyer Carapace level 1, so might just go into something more standard, like maybe a Roach Hydra Viper into later on Broodlords, or
Well, sadly for...
with Vipers, like Roach Hydra could do pretty okay on this map. It's very open. It's going to be hard for Tyrion to take a good fight as long as you place yourself well.
Yeah, big
as a Zerg.
concaves. It'd be good. It would be good.
He's adding on more Mutas, though.
He's got the gas as well to add on his +2 weapons for this mech.
Kane is taking 2 extra bases, so I feel like he's just gonna try to maybe swarm Happy, but as I say that, he starts an infestation pit. I guess since this map is very open, it makes sense with the opener that he had to just go for Mutas now, get upgrades for the roaches, and then later on he can make roaches and then go into Vipers. Maybe go into Swarmhost as well if he wants to. I guess those missile attacks are don't necessarily have to be for roaches. This could just be a safety roach run that he made earlier.
I mean, I completely understand the taking of all of these bases this quickly because he knows the entire of the fight was on his opponent's side of the map, so he was safe in taking these for the most part. But the Hellions going to try and dart in, and they're not going to get many drones. It's just going to be maybe a few here and there. But
question is, after the previous game, does Kane really want to go for a longer game once again? The thing is, in this game, he has a much bigger lead than he did before, even though in terms of upgrades, Happy is doing pretty good with 2-2 already on the way.
There's a lot of Mutalisks out, and there's not much anti-air actually. Kane goes for a pause, 2 Thors and 2 Widowmines are all we really see.
Yeah, Kane is about to be on 5 bases here with the gold base just finishing, so...
Alright, well I'm not sure how much the players can hear about what we're talking about in terms of the game. So let's just hold off on that for now, Todd, here.
Let's talk about something else. What other games have you been playing recently, Kailar?
Wow, what a bait.
What? No. It's a tasteless question.
Well, Todd, farewell, that I have been playing all kinds of games, because that's what I like to do.
Guild Wars, right?
I do enjoy playing some Guild Wars 2 in my spare time, as I've been casting some of that recently.
Okay, here's a very important question. What's the best game?
What's the best game?
Yes.
Blizzard games?
StarCraft II.
StarCraft 2. I like all Blizzard games.
Yes.
I like all Blizzard games, man.
I like other Blizzard games than StarCraft 2, but StarCraft 2 is still the best.
Okay, man. All right. It's pretty good, I must admit. It's pretty good. Well, this mech composition needs to really get going, and he needs a lot of anti-air. He's adding on those 2-star pots to get Vikings out because he knows his anti-air is a little bit sparse right now, and the Mutalisk count, having risen as high as it is scary.
I feel like this massive Muta clouds could be good in some situations, but against somebody like Happy who loves turrets as much as he does, I really don't know. Especially when he realizes what's happening with the huge Muta count. He's most likely going to get, the building upgrades. And, this is actually still going to do something. If he went for the armory...
That's a lot of workers. That's a lot of workers. 20 go down in that
there's
main
so many
base.
Turrets.
Yeah, he's going to be trapped.
Oh my god.
Oh no, he can skirt out around the edge, I think. But he's getting even more workers.
Kane doing even more damage now while going for the Swarmos behind this.
41 workers at the 16-minute mark. Or 17-minute mark, I should say.
He needs to start a hive, though, Kane. He has a great economy. I mean, having the gold base like he does now, he has 5 bases pretty well saturated. 86 drones against 46 SCVs. He needs to be worried about an attack, though. If he pushes Happy too far, surely Happy's going to go for an attack. Oh, the Widowmite. Boom.
Oh, it actually got a Mutalisk. So the weakened one on the edge there does suffer.
The Crisper is quite decent, by the way, as well. Almost reaching, I guess, about the middle of the map here.
Surprised he doesn't really have an overseer, actually, with those Mutalisks.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
And Swarmos are going to siege the left-hand side base here.
Moving
What's
into
the
assault
upgrades?
mode.
I guess 1 carapace only for the Mutas. I guess for now, Kane is going to look for a hole in which he can do some damage. Happy taking the turrets level very, very high here. He's up to 15.
Yeah,
not one at the 50 plus spores of Kane, but
no, not quite.
He's going to get there.
They can't really move around, so there is a little bit of a disadvantage to them. And now Enduring Locust on the way. How many Swarmhosts does he even have? 16, so it's quite a few. Would like to press his advantage down that left-hand side. Doesn't quite have the creep spread that he would like down there, but he'll keep going in a bit.
A bit of a late Enduring Locust, but as long as he doesn't completely forget it, he's going to be okay.
Yeah. The gas commitment to Mutalisks to start things off compared to the Swarmhosts gave him that offensive capability, right? So it was a cool little change-up from the previous Swarmhost go-to that we saw before.
It's funny, Happy is actually leaving a few Thors back at home in case Muta's flying.
Makes sense.
The Silent Guardians. Guardians, oh my god, I did it again.
I was about to say. No Guardian Shields in this one, mate. Well, for now, those Locusts are just going to continue sieging up on that left-hand side. Mutalisks are still looking for an option here, but...
I'm surprised that Kane is not pressing his advantage a little bit more by trying to siege harder. Like, he could definitely move closer to that fourth base of Happy, rather than siege from this far.
Yeah, he could. I guess he's playing it safe and just sticking around on his creep. There's actually... How many missile turrets are there? Only 4.
There is 23. Or 22, he just lost one. And Kane actually having a huge drone count like he does, 78, he's going to have to be careful for Happy not to build a massive army and attack into him. But I guess with the static defense that he has and with Vipers being added on, he's still in a great position. Still, I don't know, I'm a little bit torn about this. Like letting a Terran go up to 4 bases like this and not trying to be a bit more aggressive, to siege a bit more.
I mean, Happy can still get his air army going slowly. At
what point do you try and trade those Mutas up against anything, really? And also, how much are they going to do? There is just... Okay, I guess... We're at that point, Skylaris.
Well, all right.
He needs to replace them with something else.
Yeah.
And Kane already had quite a bit of a bank. This is actually the opposite of the previous game in terms of bank here. He had a lot of money. He just spent a lot of that.
As much as trading them away to make something else is cool, that was very, very wasteful, I feel. That could have been used elsewhere, probably. But...
Happy's getting on top of the Swamos. Kane needs to be careful. There's some Banshees, some Cloak Banshees.
Yeah.
Needs to get behind his spores here. And static defense was made pretty late.
As soon as Happy saw that all those Mutalisks died as they did, he knew that there is going to be a Remax coming out soon. He may as well press a little bit of his advantage now, whilst that potential army is just laying in eggs. So, let's see how much he can get done here.
Is Happy actually going for it?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, big abducts on his Banshees, but the spores are not very well placed.
How many spores does he have in this location, actually?
Not. It's very hard to see, man.
Yeah,
4.
It is.
No, more. Oh
about
my god,
6,
yes,
7, 8?
9.
Okay, right.
2 more Vipers being made here for Kane. Not too many Blinding Clouds being used here. Yes, he just wanted to mostly abduct.
Interestingly enough, we're still seeing siege tanks in production for Happy here, who is commenting and continuing on with this ground-based force. Of course, he is transitioning slowly to those Vikings and Banshees, but as he's transitioning onto them, some of them are dying at the front. So he's
Kane
just replenishing.
He's holding on for now. He's being so aggressive in this game. He does not want to sit back. He does not want to take 2 Ravens. He wants to get in there, get on top of the Swarmost, and kill Kane now. 10 more Swarmost armed away, and Kane might have to abandon this base.
Yeah, that will do quite a bit to his economy. Of course, there is that goal base on the right-hand side as well, which is helping him out quite a lot.
Kane just completed 3-3. Plus 3 missile attacks, plus 3 carapace, and he's going up to... Is he going up to what? I was gonna... No, okay, no, 31 Swarmost. I thought for a second he had 8 more in production, but they just finished. So 31 Swarmost. He's gonna get some more Infestors. Big abducts on his stores.
Yeah, I don't think he can continue this aggression. As much as it was nice to get that base to the left-hand side, pushing into 31, 32 Swarm hosts with Infestors going to be complementing it soon as well. It's too much.
Yeah, this time going for this many Infestors, it's really Kane who's leading this game with the, I guess, energy wars, we could call them, trading energy against units quite possibly in a second. But the Banshees, they need to be denied action here on top of the Swarm host.
Yeah, they were going ham on a few of those Swarm hosts, but now look how much the ground army is just being cleansed and cleared out. This is... there's not much left for him here. He can't hold on against those Locusts with just these few siege tanks alone, so he has to retreat back and get his air army really mobilized, but losing all of your ground army like that gives the Swarm host ample opportunity to push forwards and start doing damage to you.
I'm a bit surprised that Happy's replacing the lost Banshees with newer ones. I guess ideally we'd like to go for Ravens, but he just doesn't have the gas this game. He's expanded very slowly in this game. He's only on 4 bases at the 26 minutes. It kind of feels like in the previous game the map was already split at 26 minutes.
Yeah.
They rushed to a lot of bases very quickly.
This is, I feel that this is a really good window here for Kane to just try and be aggressive with his Swarm host now. There's really not that many units. There's 5 siege tanks, a few Banshees, but they were looking to establish that gold base on the right-hand side anyway.
Yeah. Hellion run-by on the left-hand side could do actually a bit of damage on that left-hand side base of Kane that's quite saturated. if he was to go there, let the barbecue begin.
Yeah, up to the top. The
Oh,
fungal
they're
growths-
stuck! He's surrounded!
Aw.
Oh my god! And they're not even
Bloodline.
attacking to get out.
Yeah, they don't know it, but they are goners.
The luckiest surround of all time.
Wow. Good job, Ling and Roach. The duo.
The Hellions killed 4 drones, but I don't think Kane even cares. He's still up to about 70. We made a few.
That's the only Ling on the map. Bless him.
Cute little guy. The Lion Ling, remember?
Yeah. Oh,
WCS
yeah, that
season
guy.
1.
On Akalon Wastes. I remember very, very well.
You have a very vivid memory, Kailaris.
I know.
Unlike Sean.
Oh my. Who can't remember things that happened 2 minutes ago.
But remember all things, though. That one hallucinated Oracle, I was pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, the long-term memory. Oh yeah, you were passionate about it. Yeah, so I can understand why I'd remember that. That's for sure.
All right, the Locust Wave is going to get sent across the map. The creep spread has been really consistent. Like, I wouldn't say the best, but definitely pretty good here out of Kane. If he knew about that gold base, surely he would siege that base ASAP. Maybe... Oh, he knows, actually. I think he should definitely send, like, his
he does
Swamos
know.
there once. Maybe he's afraid of, like, getting countered immediately on the left-hand side. Preserving your bases are usually more important than taking out your opponent's ones, unless you're behind.
The Banshees can't get a whole lot done with the idea of the Infestors zoning them out, so they're going to have to look for alternate paths and routes. I mean, how well is the gold base defended? Quite a few spores there.
Yeah.
So
Happy's starting to bank quite a few gas, by the way. Probably going to go for the Ravens here real soon.
yeah, and I also think Kane's anticipating his gold base being hit with the positioning of his Infestors as well. Just knowing
Happy
that
has
it
so
could hit
many
that very-
benches. His composition is so weird. 14 tanks, 12 Vikings, and 14 benches. No Hellbats, no Thors. I'm not sure what to think about this.
It's kind of cool. As long
it's
as they don't
cool,
get
but if he
fungled,
gets
it's kind of
fungled,
cool.
You'll see how cool it is when he meets the 9 Infestors.
Yeah, not very cool. Just dead.
Actually, even when he's going to face some Broodlords, he's going to have to get in there with the Vikings, and then that's when he's going to get fungled. Assuming we're going to see Broodlords, because right now it's only Corruptors and the +3 attacks upgrades on air units.
And here comes the fusion core as well as a few more starports as well. So durable materials. It's Corvid Reactor, if I recall the name. I really.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't see it too much, but get to see it in some of these in situations.
So Kane, as much as he wanted to play very aggressive early on to try and get ahead, he still, I guess, kind of agrees to play a longer game here up against a Happy, who's definitely going to be very content with the fact that he can split up the map.
And he needs to get out of that. Oh, actually just going to turn around and get himself a queen, but the transfuse will be able to save it. Where are the Infestors? That's the all-important unit, I feel, in this composition right now. They are lurking around with the swarm hosts.
Kailaris, there is 46 spore crawlers sound on the map right now.
You
Round
really like
two.
your
Fight.
your spore crawler count very much.
I think it's pretty important.
Of
to know
course.
that against, like, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
air army that's out there for Happy. And in this game, the battle cruiser transition is going to come in very, very late. Oh, a Banshee flyby?
All right, I'm getting comfortable. I'm taking my shoes off. Wait, there we go. Because this could go on for a little bit as well.
It's actually not going to do anything.
Yeah, those Banshees didn't do much. And he caught them very nicely with fungals, so they will fall. But there's still Banshees left.
Are you ready for the fungals?
Ready for the fungals? That have Infestors aren't there, so no.
Don't make a sound out of it.
Don't make a song out of it. Oh, well. The bench is going to push on to this goal base and actually even just deal with the spore crawlers themselves. They have a surprising amount of DPS, so we'll bring those down. Behemoth Reactor's on the way for those battlecruisers. 5 in production. He's going to bring down this goal base as well. And the Vikings actually zoning out just a little bit there. The siege tanks trying to do something to Locust, but they don't even need to be here at this point. I guess the siege tanks were there to zone out the Infestors from getting too close.
Kane is being very patient about this. Happy is the only one, moving across the map, trying to make something happen. Gonna trade some Infestor energy for a few tanks here. Resources lost is actually really, really close. Oh my god, 26,000 to 24,000.
But the 5 base situation for Happy is not really being shut down. His economy isn't being hurt, and battlecruisers are on the way again, Todd. So
I feel like on this map, though, it's a little bit more extreme in terms of middle bases. Like, surely Kane is going to be able to take the left-hand side and siege the other that It's just a little bit below.
It's a good point. It's actually a really good point. Something that should be stressed a little bit more. On Overgrowth, you have your sides of the map.
Yeah.
You have your definitive sides of the map. Even with the idea of creep spread, there's still definitive sides of the map. But on this one, those middle bases, you're totally right, do come into play because they are so in the middle. And the creep spread is still looking okay here for Kane.
And you have your ramps too that you can play with, take the high grounds. Not everybody's Anakin Skywalker and attacks from the lower ground.
That's true.
Oh, that PF. Oh. Good night, Sweet Prince.
Well, he had to fall eventually when the Swarm host got over there. There's not enough battle cruisers and the ideas of Ravens or anything like that to really start zoning it out just yet.
This is actually... Oh my god, how did Kane go down to 39 drones? I guess he must have made a lot of spores. He made a lot of newer ones.
We are up to...
He's remaking a few ones.
We're going to be up to around 51.
Oh god. And he's
making more.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Because he can.
Yeah. So, Spore Wars continues as a few corruptors being mixed into the composition.
Yeah. Since there isn't that many battle cruisers, Kane could literally go across the map with a push, with all of his spores, his Swarmos, his infestors, I'm not kidding you, and his Vipers.
Just burrow them whilst they're being attacked.
Yeah.
And
I guess sitting on creep makes sense and siege, but if he plays too relaxed, he's really giving a chance for Happy to, mine a lot and pump out a massive army. And that Banshee attack here, with 3/3 upgrades, is going to do a ton of damage, but he's exposing himself to fungals.
Oh, some spores died there as well.
The Infestor Squad!
A massive
Fungal
blow.
Gets a few of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one on top of his Infestors. Does not see that just yet.
Actually, that could have gotten Infestor, even for its troubles. It was still cloaked up, as you said.
Oh, this Locust across the map.
At least you better run. Actually, it's funny because that orbital command is actually better than the planetary fortress there.
Yeah.
Because the Locust can't shoot the air, so that's all right.
Happy's reaction time was really good here, and he's mined quite a few more minerals than Kane. Resources lost. I guess there's still a bit of a gap, but we saw in the previous game that it didn't matter when the Terran army reached his ideal army composition. There was not much that the Zero could do anymore.
Yeah, and he played it as slow as he wanted to. I think at the start of those engagements in game number 1, he was a little bit less cost effective, and as the time went on, he found the perfect range that he needed when going into those engagements and found the perfect moment. So he's already warmed up in that and can do it again here.
It's like the previous game right now. On the ground, Happy only has a single Widow Mine. I don't even know where it is. It's on the left-hand side with low hit points. But he has a pure air army with 4 Banshees, 19 Vikings, 13 Battlecruisers, and 7 Ravens. I feel like if Kane suicided all of his Swarmos now and replaced them with a lot of Infestors, and I mean, look at his gas. He has a lot of gas. He would be able to do very well with this only army. With Fungals, Infested Terran just went for the fight and had some fun. But he's going to want to play it slow, I think. I don't think he realizes where he's at in terms of economy, so he's just going to let Happy maybe expand a little bit more. He's going to try to siege with the Locusts here and there. Probably going to start walking on that gold base in a second or in the middle of the map. Happy is very gas-starved, though, on this map. Like, he's been on 8 gases for most of the game. He did mine a little bit of gas on that gold base, but by the look of things, not going to be able to get any more. Happy's going to suicide his Banshees on the right-hand side of the map to try and replace them with something else, but I mean, he doesn't even have the gas to replace them with Ravens and then still have a bank.
Yeah, at least Ravens are the best
Look at the production tab.
12 drones? Oh, 26 spot.
Oh my god. He's going for the 100, Kylaris.
Go for the 100. May as well. These Banshees could start working on that 100, though, once they've got themselves a hatchery over here. We'll clear up these waves in the middle. But... okay, so all of those are gone. But you don't need to trade anyway, as you were mentioning.
The chase.
85 spores. Do we have more drones?
Oh, 3 more Vipers. So I guess with this amount, with this insane amount of spores, which is 85. That's my birth year. he's just gonna abduct. He's just gonna abduct a lot of these battle cruisers ideally, and abduct them into all of these spores to kill them. But the thing is, he's gonna be exposed to the Yamato cannon again. The Yamato cannon, really the only chance of Happy in this game, who's struggling to max out this time against a Kane who has quite a bank, especially in terms of gas.
All right, well, He's trying to find some room, and what we saw previously was Happy trying to find a little bit of an entrance to the back of these bases. Is that you? Is that you, Todd?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Of course not. Trying to find an entrance to the back of those bases to then start working on the tech and then trying to find some of those trades here and there. If he can kill off the idea of like a Hive, for example, and he gets to trade off against Vipers, if he gets the Spire and then can trade off against anything else, like the Corruptors, for example, then he won't be able to replenish them, and then maybe he can slowly break him down from there. But he's actually spread creep onto his opponent's gold base, and if he solidifies a position around there, could actually start trying to use that as well, Kane. Not only the middle of the map that we were suggesting before.
The creep is so important when you play with Swarmos like this. Snoot did explain and emphasize it on quite a few occasions, and he's definitely one of the best out there with the Swarmos, so very, very good for Kane that he's been able to keep that very well.
Yeah. I was a little bit apprehensive about him going into the longer game here again, but he's doing okay. But if he allows so many battlecruisers and so many Ravens to come out, which is it's getting to that number very soon, I don't know how he wins it. I think it just goes to a very, very long 1.5 hour game again where we eventually see the Terran be victorious. It's going to be difficult. We'll see, we'll see. It's still up in the air. What?
James.
My mind's slowly melting. So that's what happens in these games.
As scary as Happy's air army looks, it's really worrying that he has this little gas. And I mean, he's not about to mine any more gas. Surely Kane could literally like throw away his entire army, trade it for like say half of Happy's army, and then remake another army and then finish it.
Well, he's brought that Spore Crawler count now down to 76. As he's...
I think he wants to suicide.
Wait a minute. Is it base trade time?
I mean, against this many spores, good luck. It's going to take a lot of Yamato Cannon and patience. Oh, I guess it's a good thing that Happy has a lot of patience. Decent fungal with land.
I think it gets to the point where he actually has to pick up all of his buildings and fly them elsewhere with all the swarm hosts in assault mode. He's going to take quite a bit of damage here, though, at these positions, and he doesn't really have that many Corruptors.
Only 4 Infestors down, by the way.
And also, a few Hunt Seekers going to land on this army if he's not careful. Has to get out of range of that very, very quickly. More Yamatos will end up raining down. He's still got 11 battlecruisers to his name, but 2 of them get dragged out of position. He needs point defense drones to be able to save those, because these battlecruisers are very, very expensive at this point, especially considering that his production is going to be under siege.
Yeah, Kane is really not that rich, so... we'll see what he's going to go for here. He makes a bunch of Corruptors and a bunch of Infestors as well. I guess Kane is at least going to force Happy to fly, otherwise he's going to lose all of his buildings.
Yeah.
Would it be crazy if like he just went and killed all the Flying buildings with his Corruptors?
I mean, he could try, but it's going to be difficult against this army.
I think Happy is trying to catch the reinforcements, the units of Kane being remade here. And Kane's economy is actually... All of a sudden, his supply block, he can't make more units. He's losing his Corruptors.
Yeah, and if he kills all the hatcheries, he can't make any units anyway. Of course, he could make a few more hatcheries, but that would take away from a lot of the minerals that he already has to make those units to begin with. So his anti-air is really only the 11 Corruptors, unless he gets
7 Infestors.
Unless he gets the good... He's only got 1 Viper, so he can't even really abduct too much into Spore Crawlers. That 1 Viper is very, very important in this game.
4 Queens for Kane.
Oh yeah, the 4 Queens. Let's not forget that.
They're going to transfuse the hell out of the Spore Crawlers, Skydars.
Not this one, though. Unless he gets...
Where are they, actually?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see, Todd. One of them died. I guess it was in this base with these auto turrets.
Even in terms of buildings, like, surely Kane is going to start getting lower and lower. He still has 55 spores, which is definitely a decent number.
Yes, it is. Does 55 have any significance to you, Todd?
Yeah. You know what would be funny? If Kane pulled back on like the right-hand side position with all of his buildings, somehow Happy neglected killing the creeps, and then all of the spores walked very quickly below the battlecruisers and sniped them.
Okay.
But I guess maybe only in another parallel dimension
I was
this would ever happen.
Another WCS.
Apollo's WCS.
Yeah,
Apollo's coaching WCS.
Where he was playing basketball or something and winning 5 points. I can't remember what he said. So a lot of these Spore Crawlers are actually unburrowed, and are going to have to run away from this army. for a second and find refuge in their friends.
Oh man, I really feel like Kane needed a lot more infestors for some good fungals.
The anti-air just isn't there. Of course there are these spore crawlers, but it's the one Viper.
Honestly, if you get 30 infestors, even though the infested Terran, you know, they're not going to do that great supposedly against the upgraded battle cruisers, it's still 30 full energy infestors, possibly throwing down, you know, a lot of infested Terran plus fungal up against a full air army that surely can't Yamato all of these infestors. So I really feel like this would have been the way to go. But Kane delayed that too much, and it kind of feels like now he's in a bit of trouble.
You're taking a little bit of scratch damage here from some of these spore crawlers, but all Happy is going to do is fly around in circles, babysit this army. 8 battle cruisers and 12 Ravens still go up against a very immobile anti-air force.
Oh, going for the elimination race here, possibly. But surely that's going to force Happy back. In which case, how does Kane react? Oh, he's going to land. Exodus almost.
Devious.
Oh my god.
Okay, now the Locusts have
Do you
their
think
turn.
Kane can eliminate Happy?
Potentially.
Yeah, this is doing a ton. Right now, Happy needs to rush back, but he can't go through all of the spores.
Exactly, he has to go around. So that's a bit of a hindrance, a bit of a blunder. Does he have any CVs on the field?
Happy's trying to get rid of as many of these spores as possible, as quickly as possible. We're down to 49, so he's reducing those numbers, but it's still 47 now. It's going to take too long.
Couldn't this end up in a draw? If he loses all those buildings there and then just goes to the corner and tries to babysit everything down here, but then I guess creep could extend and he could slowly move spore crawlers towards that location. But this is bizarre.
Yeah. Quite a few buildings left for both of them. Way more for Kane though, with the 46 spores. Which, I mean, if Kane is still squeeze spreading, you know, on the left-hand side a little bit, he can move the spores around quite a bit. I can't believe that Widowman. Oh my god. Oh!
We said he should have been sacrificed.
Oh my god.
But he gets an infestor.
That was sick.
Well, yeah.
He's down to 2 infestors all of a sudden. I mean, every single infestor
Oh,
is
there's
very
no more buildings.
here.
There's very few more buildings. There's only like 2 supply depots, and that's it. These 2 supply depots on the right-hand side is it.
Oh my god, Kane is gonna win.
Bye-bye, Happy. Game number 2. That's it. It's done. GG. Kane is able to go for the base trade. And in game number 2, ties it up 1-1. Even he can't believe it. What?
That was crazy. I said it right away. There was always this option for Kane to go across the map, play the base trade, because he had forced a lift on all of those buildings. He did have a few corruptors. And I guess in the end, the choice of Happy to go across the map and try and end it, because he thought he probably thought that he had it. Simple as that. Possibly cost him the game. Imagine if he had flown with, say, like 2 or 3 barracks, or I guess he didn't have many
with his army,
factories, with his army.
Yeah.
Then it would have been so much harder for Kane to win this. So maybe a bit of a throw here out of Happy.
Maybe. All right, we're going to go to a short break, guys, and when we're back, we're actually going to be going on to Inferno Pools for the final game in this best of 3. All right, welcome back to the World Championship Series as we're going to get into game number 3 here between Happy and Mr. Kane, who was able to tie up the series after taking out 2 little Spidey pulls around the back there and end up eliminating Happy in the very end after, well, admittedly killing a few more buildings than just that.
That was pretty crazy, man. Definitely not your usual stale Meg versus Swarmost game. Like, definitely lots of action, lots of pushing, and that made it very interesting.
Yes, it did. And now we're getting into game number 3, and it's going to be on Inferno Pools. And this itself is going to be interesting because there is the potential for things to get very, very tricky in terms of those spawning locations.
Oh, God. It's vertical position, Skylaris.
All right, let's get into it then. Game number 3 on Inferno Pools. As we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner, it's our blue Zerg representing my insanity. It is Kane. And down to the bottom left-hand corner are red Terran. After losing that game, he really wants to pull this back so that he can advance on to the round of 16. It is Happy.
Which third base do you take here as a Zerg?
I guess the one towards the middle. It's a gold, right? The one down to the south would be a bit tricky. So if you take the gold, then it's expanding away from your opponent. And
wrong answer. You go for the islands.
You load things up and get gone.
Just kidding.
Or you go for a Nidus Worm.
Yeah, as a Protoss, surely you will go for the islands.
Yeah.
But Happy, by the look of things, gonna go for a CC first here against the Kane, who should go for a hatch first. I think, yes. Gonna be hatchery first.
Is this where Kane mix it up, or is this where Kane continues to go swarm hosts?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, as much as he won the previous game, it wasn't a sure thing. Like, he was ahead early on, but then it really feels like in the late stage of the game, Happy just has so much more experience. Like, once he has his battlecruisers and his Ravens, he's like a beast. Like, Happy was going to win that game. I feel like it was a bit of a throw, and maybe even a massive throw. And keep in mind, the base race, or even like the massive trades that they went for, started with Happy having only 164 supply against a maxed out Kane, who had a bank as well. Imagine if he had been maxed out.
Yeah, if he'd have kept some buildings just flying around with his army, it would have been very, very difficult there for Happy to be fully eliminated, that's for sure. I mean, it's the exact same as what Kane is doing. He's keeping a load of spore crawlers with his army, which are counters building, so why isn't Happy also doing the same thing when he is facing that kind of elimination race? So that was difficult, but now it seems like the light issue for Kane has been resolved, and we will be jumping back into the game.
I wonder if Kane is going to do the same opener in any case, with the Mutas and Missile plus Carapace upgrade into Swarmos, and all that. I really feel like in the previous game, with the lead that he had, if he had gone for a mass roach drop after the initial Mutas, or even directly, he would have been able to win. Like, this is something that used to do very, very well against Meg, but that's Zergs have stopped doing. But I really feel that as a surprise, it's still a very strong thing that you can do.
Kane gets over here and has a look around with his overlords and reveals that it is going to be a command center first opener. So Happy's going to have a very strong economy to start things off. And I'm wondering if Kane really wants to do anything exploitative from here, because I think if it did go into a longer game again, I think Happy would certainly have the advantage. So whether Kane or not approaches this aggressively, Happy is already taking precautions against that, just in case.
Even on this map, actually, going for something like the gold base here as a third base for Kane, that could even encourage him even more to go for something like either, an all-in with Mass Roach and maybe possibly Banelings, or a Roach drop, or even maybe play the style with, Roach Hydralisks, possibly into Vipers, with the extra income that he would have from that. But I guess that would leave him also open to the initial harassment from Happy, which is always very, very good. But in this game, for once, it's not going to be Reapers plus Hellions plus Banshees, which is usually what makes it so strong.
So maybe if Kane spots, if Happy goes for mech once again and Kane actually spots that pretty early on, he could take a good portion of his side of the map and not really run too many risks at all, which, considering it is a big map on the right-hand side, of course the bases are quite far away, but he would get a very, very strong economy very quickly.
Is that a perfect wall by Happy? Yeah, it is. I think he saw Maru versus Life.
I didn't want to run the same mistakes. Jeez. The bunker in the middle is certainly very, very welcome.
All right, the lair started here out of Kane. He's going to add 3 extractors at once. So by the look of things, this should be the same thing with the Spire being added on as lair will finish. He's getting the Ro32, most likely as safety. There's still a few options of builds that he could do with roaches, though.
Ooh, extra barracks here for Happy. Extra barracks. I really have not seen too many games on this map because we just don't see it in tournament play that often at all. So I'm not... I guess the idea of mech wouldn't work amazingly because the bases are so far apart.
Yes. This is... I guess on this map, there is so much space to cover in terms of scouting that he's hoping that basically Kane is not going to be able to scout these 2 racks, in which case he gets a bunch of bio out on the map. He goes across the map, he has Team Pack plus a lot of Hellions and Marines, and then he does damage. Or maybe he's just... Maybe he's worried about an all-in. He just gets a lot of Marines out to be safe, and then get Medivacs, and he's in great position. And I guess going for the Nidus here, this is going to be, as I said, you know, one of the builds that he can do when you go roaches and that many gases here for Kane. And that could be quite deadly. Let's see if there is any blind spots in Happy's base. I think he has almost everything covered.
He's just got to hope that the Hellions don't poke forwards and spot that too early.
On the top left-hand side, there is actually a blind spot, I feel like. Yeah, right there. No, even more on the left of this. Like right now, he's going to see it. He needs to pull SCVs. When this goes up...
He's not pulling. He's not pulling.
He's going to be in trouble.
Buildings.
So many roaches are going to stream out of this. This is Happy's tournament life on the line.
Or at least the winners match.
If Queens come out, they're going to start transfusing that Nidus as well.
Oh, dear me. Here come the roaches as well. There's not much to really deal with this. The Hellions trying to go for the Nidus one, but it keeps on being transfused by the Queens, keeping it alive. The roaches are going to get on top of these Hellions, and then the SCVs have no opportunity to deal with this at all.
This is it. Happy's dead. I don't think he can hold this. He's going to pull back, try to buy some time, brings back the Hellions back home.
Well, he's trying to hold on as best he can. He has a few Marines in this composition to try and hold on as well. The SCVs have to come off the line, but he's lost so much of his income, so much of his economy, that this just might be the crippling blow. Is Kane going to be able to do this and move on in first place in this group, a group where not many people even gave him a hope against some of these very, very hard hitters, but the Roaches, they're doing what they need to. They're getting the tech lab. That's going to deny even Marauders coming out. There's one in production, but that's going to be the only one for a while here.
Steam Pack completes some time here for Happy, but I don't think Kane even cares. He should have enough roaches to trade a little bit more here. Up against these 19 SCVs to 44 drones. He's going to kill even more. Kane is not slowing down. He's still getting roaches out. He's still making more Queens. He squeezed one drone in there as well.
And he can't even get to the Nidus Worm to kill it off, so the roaches are always going to come forward. GG. Kane moves forward in first place here in Group D. What a result for him after 2 unbelievable series from his side of things. And there you go. Happy is knocked down into the final match of Group D. Congratulations to Kane for moving on. That was some good stuff there. Really interesting to see that third game play out, how he wanted to bring in some aggression to the table and being able to be triumphant 2-1.
A bit of a symbol or Bly build. Every time I see a Nidus and Roaches, I think of these guys, and a very, very smart choice. You know, especially because of the way he opened in the first 2 games, staying on 2 bases for a long time. There was not really any suspicion risen here for Happy, so he wasn't expecting, he didn't see the Nidus go up. That's a game-losing mistake.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's not as even if he didn't see it, it's just that his eyes didn't see it, right? Because technically it was envisioned the whole time it was being produced. So it's getting late, maybe he was a bit tired, I don't know the actual case for that, but regardless of the fact, he didn't see it. And that was able to clinch the victory there for Kane, who took a risk, and it paid off. So he moves on to the round of 16. Good stuff.
I thought we were going to the desperate game. No, yeah, I completely agree. Happy though, like it's gonna be hard staying composed after this game. Like after you lose a game like this, especially if you realize that it was in vision. Like it literally, as a pro gamer, when you lose a game, you try to find your mistakes, and you try to tell yourself that you're gonna do better the next time. But right now, what can Happy tell himself other than, "What did you do, man? Like, how did you not see this Nidus and then just click on it and win the game from there?" Because if you deny the first Nidus attempt, it's completely over. There is no transition out of this. The Zerg has to commit to most likely, like say, like a Nidus outside of the wall of the Terran base, and then you just hold and you won.
Well, that does it there for that series as Kane advances on to the round of 16. Let's hear from him alongside Red Eye.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Okay. Sam.
Paul.
Sam.
Paul.
My name's Sean.
Those applause were for you. I just want to, before we have a chat, I just want to give you these words, because I know you're going to enjoy these.
Yep.
The first man through from Group D to the round of 16 Premier League Season 1 is my Insanity Kane.
Yay. Yeah.
Be honest with us, and I know you will be. When you looked at the group,
Yep.
you've thought tough group, good
Yeah.
players, quality Zergs as well, and a really tough Terran.
Yep.
In your wildest dreams, did you think you would top the group?
No, because I think Happy is like one of the best Terrans in Europe right now, and honestly, that last series, I don't know if I should have won that, but yeah, it was a really hard group, and my ZvZ is not good. So yeah, I'm very happy that I took it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic overall. Just all the games that you've played as well. All the maps, very interesting. Very different strategies as well. Not my favourite, obviously, with the swarm host being involved, but, you know...
Me neither.
Whatever it takes to get through, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, when a Terran does go mech, like, you have to go swarm hosts. And there's different varieties of swarm host styles that you can play. But that was the most... I think that's the best style to play. I think that's what's most consistent, and I think that's what works the best.
Okay, let's talk about the maps a little bit. There's a lot to talk about in there as well.
Yes.
We'll kindly skip the first map, right? And we'll talk about map 2 and 3, because
sure.
it's nicer. Map 2, very similar. In a way, it looked like it was going the same way.
Right.
And then, did you actually believe what was happening at the end of the game?
No,
Because we didn't. We were all sat upstairs going, what?
Yeah, I think 5 minutes before the game ended or something like that. I didn't have a good army. I knew that I had like a crap ton of swarm hosts but no air and very little infestors, so I knew that I couldn't beat his army. So I was going to GG. But then something clicked in my brain and I thought maybe... I looked around the map and I saw Happy has not rebuilt his base. So I thought maybe I can base trade. And he didn't have any SCVs left. So it just came down to that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a game that I won based on skill, again, like the ZvZ. But I think that I just got a little bit lucky.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Sean?
Did you ever feel in that game too that you were ahead? Because I was watching upstairs, me, Stefano, Pig, at points before Happy was able to kind of build up that battlecruiser and Raven army, there was definitely points that everyone was upstairs was like, okay, you need to be more aggressive with the swarm host. Happy had a kind of a mech army that you crushed in the mid game. You remember that?
Yeah,
army?
with Needling Bane. Yeah.
And from that point on, you were able to pretty much lead the game, but you were never very assertive with the swarm host. Is there a reason for that? Your creep spread was very far. He was, he had one expansion on one side and another on the other side. For him, it's going to be very difficult to defend both, but you kind of sat back a little bit, and I think that was also very similar of what you did in game 1. Is there a reason that you...
Honestly, I think it just came down to not practicing. Like, I didn't have any practice versus that style, so I didn't really know what to do. And in cases where I don't know what to do, I think it's best to split the map 50-50. So I was going for that, but I had made too many swarm hosts. Like, I probably had, 30 swarm hosts or something, right?
32.
Yeah, it was 32.
Yeah.
At one point, we thought it was 47, and we nearly screamed, but it was 32.
That was the Sepulchral account.
It was, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when you have 32 swarm hosts and he has nothing on the ground except for buildings, you kind of feel in a rough spot. So I didn't really know what to do in that situation, to be honest.
It kind of showed as well with like the way that your army control. It was a little bit. I mean, Pig was describing upstairs that compared to Protoss, against Protoss, you kind of wanted to, grab one unit at a time and so on. But against this army that's so very energy heavy, you jump in, grab one unit, get hit by 3 Yamato cannons and a bunch of Seeker missiles and so on. And he was describing that in that kind of scenario, you'd be wanting to go in, grab a bunch of stuff, drain the energy, and then go in again. Is that just, again, a lack of experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I don't even know if that would work. I think that style is almost unbeatable once they get to that point. I think you have to kill them before it gets to that point, which I don't like because I like going for the long game, right? I feel like I have to cheese to beat that style. So what it came down to really was just lack of experience and not knowing what to do in the situation.
And then we move on to the third map, Inferno Pools, not often played yet in this season. Very dependent on the spawns.
Yes.
When you saw the spawns, you're thinking, actually, I'm okay with this.
Actually, I was going to do that build no matter what the spawns are.
Really?
Yeah. So I had played that build once before and I thought it was pretty good. So I decided to try it and it worked.
Yeah, actually, Puck, we were sitting with Puck upstairs and literally, when the game started and he saw where you were going, he was like, this is a Nidus.
Yeah.
And Pig said, really? And he was like, $50, it's a Nidus. He was like, I know exactly what's going down here. And Pig was like, he seems to know something I don't. And of course, it was Nidus.
To be honest, it really, that game, again, very similar to game 2, we felt upstairs, I don't want to say we felt that should have not have worked as well. He didn't go for third command center. He went for 2 barracks instead of the third command center on his natural. He had a bunch of units that were just starting to come out. He had
a Marine on patrol.
That could see the Nidus, but not in range to actually shoot the Nidus. And he never actually looked up there or see it on his mini-map. And if he had seen it, stopped it, then that could have obviously put you in a world of trouble.
He literally saw it right at the very end as I think the first queen popped out. He literally saw it and immediately started, you transfuse straight away.
If that had gone down, what was plan B?
It was game. I mean...
It's game over?
Yeah, and hearing that, like you said it right before this started, but right before the interview. But if he had managed to kill that Nidus, it was game. And honestly, I think it just came down to his mistakes and not my good play. I think it was just him playing poorly. So
you're a very humble chap, Sam.
No, right.
But I think honestly, congratulations this evening. It's a fantastic achievement to get out of a very, very tough group and advance to the round of 16. Thank you to Apollo as well. Very quick break. When we come back, though, we will have our 5th and final game of the day and find out which player joins this player in the round of 16. Now, congratulations once again to my Insanity Kane. We'll be right back.